And I hope everybody's staying cool. Here it's just a little bit warm. Mom and I, when we have our tea together, virtual of course, we try to see who's the hottest. I usually win because of the humidity. Like right now, the humidity is actually down. It's down to 68, but it still feels like 102. And we usually don't get into the 90s very much, so there you go. But anyway, I'm Jennifer. I'm your friendly and sometimes silly trauma recovery coach. Today, oh boy, this is a good one. I've had a lot of people talk about this over the years. A lot of people request going over this even now. So I want to touch on how tough it is to deal with toxic family members when you're trying to set your boundaries. And I know a lot of you have felt this way. I know I have, and I want to make a little disclaimer here. The toxic family members I had to deal with were not my immediate family. So, so those that know my parents are thinking, oh, they would never act like that way. No, they would not. So don't worry. But what if there was a way to set boundaries that actually work? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to talk to you about the way that I did it, and through research and going through therapy, it's the way that most people do it. So I just want to give you a heads up on that, and let's get started. And this is the title of this one is how to set boundaries with toxic family members when they don't want to listen. That's where it's going to be hard. And now there's some actual steps to this, and the first step is what we talked about yesterday, is understand why you need to set the boundaries, because what they're going to do is they're going to thrive on busting those boundaries. Okay, I mean, they actually thrive on it. So you need to be real clear, and if you don't remember, go back and listen to yesterday's, but you need to be real clear of why you want to set these boundaries. And the next one is identify the behaviors. Now this one is kind of long, so I got my little notes here. And I want to go over some of the behaviors so that you kind of can see them when you come up against them. They lack empathy. They'll just kind of dismiss it, not a big deal. The remarks are cruel and critical toward you. Okay, they're just mean. They give you the silent treatment if you don't. Basically, they're wanting to get a response out of you. So if they're cruel and mean and they don't get a response, what's their next thing? They're going to give you the silent treatment, or they're going to be very passive aggressive. That's a good one. That one's used a lot, I have found. They will actually lie or deny. They'll just go right out and lie. They don't care. They will give vague accusations. I don't know if anybody's been through this, but they definitely will be vague. And they'll try to get other family members to stand against you. I know this is so hard, and I hate that people have to go through this, but that's where we are sometimes. And they'll change that conversation to turn it against you. Okay? And I know that I sound like I know what I'm talking about, because I do. Okay? I have literally been there. And then they'll make you feel guilty for being hurt. I know this all sounds crazy, but it's really true. And they'll threaten you. Like I said before, they're just wanting a reaction. So if they don't get it, they're going to start threatening you. They're going to make accusations against you. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to say they're not doing that at all when they're literally doing it in the moment. They'll ignore your boundaries, just flat out ignore them. And they'll start the blame game. So those are not all of them, sadly, but those are a big part of it. So what do? Okay, because most people that have gone through a traumatic event, especially if they've been abused in any kind of relationship, they're going to have a real hard time with this. So what you'll probably need to do is literally write it down. Okay, write it all the way down. First, you just do a brain dump and just get everything out. And then go back and make it an actual statement, okay? But write it all completely down. Because what you're going to have to do, if it's one family member, which it usually is, to be honest, it's usually one, maybe two, if they can get somebody else on their side. But it's usually one. So you're going to do this in private, but you'll get that one family member by themselves. Sometimes you'll even just have to read it from the paper, and that's fine. The main thing is that you get it out. and you get it out with as much firmness as you can. I know this is going to be scary and it's going to be hard, but what you do is you have a support system behind you. Now, the support system isn't necessarily so that you can go vent all the time, which you will, and that's okay. But sometimes you just don't want to think about it. You just want to go out and have fun. So make sure you have some friend. They're usually going to be friends if it's a family member. It's obviously not going to be that family member. And usually mostly it's going to be friends. But because once you do the statement and you do get it out, you will have to follow through with the consequences. And honestly, it doesn't take that many times. I know it doesn't. But usually what you have to do is just remove yourself. You don't have to get mean. And in fact, if you don't get mean, if you don't get angry, the better. Okay? If you just remove yourself from that situation, that's the best. And sometimes that might take a while on that, but it will get better. I promise you. But that's what I do, and that's what a lot of people do in order to take care of the toxic family members that you have, or maybe even have a friend that's a close family friend that you may have to do this with. But that's okay. The main thing is that you're healing. So I hope this week was good for you. Tomorrow will be my Friday review. But if you have any questions, don't worry about reaching out to me. It's easiest on Messenger, and I'll get to it when I can, when I'm not taking care of Joseph. But go out there and have a great